We have been given a prophet, a spectacle of wonder, one whose word has revealed global agendas halfway around the world. He has been chosen as the vessel by whose grace the children of God restore the kingdoms of this world to their rightful place at the feet of the Christ. 7th January 2025.
The Lord showed me what a certain group was preparing to unleash on this earth as one of the greatest holds. That group we sometimes call the Globalists, but they are really Satanists. What they were planning to do this time. You remember how I prophesied back then about the control they were trying to have? Now I'm telling you this new strategy that they are having. It is going to be financial, and then I saw that their plans, they were planning to enroll it. This year, I saw the UK being one of the places that are at the forefront of this. It will almost start from there, and it will be at the forefront. And it's something to do with digital currencies and with the central banks, digitalizing currencies through the central banks. And their plan is to, now let's get them through this. And so I saw them push it almost unprepared to make sure that once the UK, they get it through the UK. But they did not realize that while they are planning, my eye had already seen certain things in the UK. So now this is how we are above the operations of the enemy. So I will tell you certain other things about the UK, but these guys were especially focused on the central bank of the UK. And I'm not a financial person, I'm just speaking as a prophet. You see? So UK was like the number one influence. Then in Africa, they were focusing on Kenya, Nigeria, and Ghana. And those are the places where, according to their discussions, which I had in the spirit, which you will see, but I had them in the spirit. They were saying, these are ripe, these are ready. So they wanted to speedily come in Africa, Kenya, and then Ghana and Nigeria. There, that's where I thank God that Uganda wasn't part of that. Hallelujah. But we have the saints in Kenya, so that's good, you see? And we have the power of prophecy. So on that front, when prophecy is revealed, and it is not something that is in the will of God, something that is actually demonic, something that would bring people in bondage, we have entered into a phase where you'll just see it collapse. You'll see as if it is beginning to show up, but then because of the power of prophecy, you see it go. So the guys here that are well educated in the financial systems can, enlighten you more about what this means. But for me, I'm telling you as a prophet, and I'm telling you, it is bondage. And it is from hell, and it's intended for that. It's not intended for convenience, for security. It is fake, you see. But we are here, hallelujah.
The prophecy spoke of the centralized digital currency push kicking off in the UK and rolling out to other parts of the world. And true to the prophetic word, 1 week later, the UK launched multiple initiatives, including the Digital Pound Lab, a project for CBDC, a digital financial system meant to go hand in hand with the digital ID, raising pressure on other countries to copy this model, which raised concern and backlash from the public, terming it as a coordinated global push for control.
Now, talking of central bank digital currencies, I can tell you this, that I did go with my colleague Richard Tice to go this morning to see the Governor of the Bank of England. And Mr. Bailey welcomed us, was very polite to us, listened to what we had to say. I asked him about central bank digital currencies. He made it clear that the bank and the government are pursuing the idea to see whether they think it can work in practicality. He thought it could be very useful in sorting out fraud. My response, which is a political, not a central banking response, was over my dead body.
The United Kingdom has just announced a nationwide digital ID system, and many inside the country are alarmed.
There's a coordinated global policy push for digital IDs as the new form of government-issued identification credentials. Digital IDs are not really a separate project from CBDCs and this new digital financial system. And UN documentation and also documentation from the Bank of International Settlements, they very overtly state that CBDCs and digital IDs are meant to go together, and without digital IDs, the CBDC digital finance system cannot exist.
And Britain is not alone in this. Across Europe, the Caribbean, and even Africa, governments are lining up to copy this model. The UK is just one of the first dominoes, and the whole of the West is moving in this direction.
Still in business, as financial innovation sweeps across Africa's digital economy, regulators have met in Accra to strengthen oversight and compliance frameworks for central bank digital currencies and cross-border payment systems. The Bank of Ghana, in partnership with the IMF, is leading conversations on how to manage growing risk while supporting innovation, especially around fintech licensing, regulatory sandboxes, and digital identity.
Deputy Director of the IMF African Department, colleague central bank governors, senior officials from the IMF, the World Bank, and across the continent.
You remember how I prophesied back then about the control they were trying to have? Now I'm telling you this new strategy that they are having. It is going to be financial. They were planning to enroll it this year, digitalizing currencies through the central banks. And their plan is to, now let's get them through this.
Well, our next guest says the Great Reset is still coming. You know, we thought, oh, maybe it's over. The globalists are gone, right? But no, it's coming, but in a different way. Cashless society, biometric scanning, take over the helm to make sure that we're all tracked and monitored. Don't take my word for it. European Union, moving towards getting rid of cash altogether. They're on the record already saying that you'd be considered basically a terrorist or in the gray market if you transact in cash over a certain amount. Oh, you want to pay your gardener 500 euros? Sorry, you're a terrorist. This is what they're doing. Christine Lagarde told us that.
But we're really starting to see this first rolled out in the global south, in the Eurozone, in the UK, a very sudden restriction on how much you can own and what sort of ID you have to put up and give to the governing bodies to be able to, play in these regulatory modes.
A financial reset is only months away. Christine Lagarde, the head of the European Central Bank, announced that there is a new push to accelerate the transition to central bank digital currencies.
In September 2025, Thai authorities froze over 3 million bank accounts in a single operation. Thailand isn't alone. Vietnam has closed millions of accounts, while the Philippines has frozen several hundred accounts.
The prophecy spoke of the globalists and their plan to unleash one of the greatest financial holds veiled behind digital innovation, similar to their COVID-19 control agenda, masked in the name of security, convenience, and safety, revealing that this would be fake. And in a stunning fulfillment of prophecy, independent global media began to reveal the new digitalization initiative as a World Economic Forum plan to control the masses, and as such should be rejected. And as those chosen to be the first outpouring of a grace and authority given to a man to lead an entire generation of believers, we accord worthy double honor to Prophet Elvis Mbonye.